do birth by sleep. Master Xehanort had decided to abandon his pupil Ventus on the Destiny Islands. The boy's heart was fractured, useless, but his heart was saved when a new heart found Ventus and helped him fill the void. Several years passed, and Ventus forgot what had happened. He had found a new home in the Land of Departure, a sacred ground defended by a long line of Keyblade Masters. There, he met two other youths named Aqua and Terra, and together they trained with Master Arrakis to become Keyblade Masters. Both Aqua and Terra should have been named Keyblade Masters, but Master Xehanort intervened, convincing Arrakis to test his pupils with a Mark of Mastery examination. While Aqua passed the test, Terra did not, creating a rift between him and his friends. Shortly after came tidings of Unversed, strange creatures that thrived on negativity, and Master Xehanort had broken off all communication. Terra left to solve both mysteries. Ventus ran away to be with his friend. As for Aqua, Arrakis tasked her with keeping Terra under surveillance and bringing Ventus home as soon as possible. Thus their journeys began. During Terra's travels, Master Xehanort whittled away at the young man's ethics, convincing him that darkness and light were equally important and that a balance must be kept. Elsewhere, Ventus met Mickey, another trainee, and found himself crossing Keyblades with a mysterious masked boy named Vanitas. The three friends were reunited in Radiant Garden, but too much had changed. Terra felt betrayed by Arrakis and Aqua, and retreated deeper into Xehanort's clutches. Ventus sided with Terra and ran off again, and Aqua was left to deal with a mixture of guilt, concern, and love. Guided by fate, perhaps, Terra arrived at Destiny Islands and met Riku. He decided to bequeath the power of the Keyblade to this little boy who reminded him so much of himself. Sometime after Aqua visited these same islands and discovered what Terra had done, she too found a kindred spirit in Riku's friend Sora, and told the boy to stick by his friend and guide him even through the darkest of times. Ventus had made a discovery of his own. While rescuing Mickey, he was confronted by Master Xehanort and learned of his connection to a weapon called the X-Blade. Ventus returned to Master Arrakis in search of answers about his past. But the truth was a disaster waiting to happen. Master Arrakis had no choice but to lock his pupil's heart away to keep the disaster contained. Terra arrived just in the nick of time and battled his master to protect his friend, but this was exactly what Master Xehanort had hoped for. Terra watched in horror as his new mentor struck the weakened Arrakis down. He had been fooled. Terra tried to move Ventus somewhere safe, the Destiny Islands, but Vanitas, the boy with the mask, was already there. "Join with me, become the X-Blade," he said. Find then Ventus remembered the truth. Vanitas was a part of him, the darkness which had been extracted from his heart. Led by destiny, Terra, Ventus and Aqua assembled in the Keyblade graveyard. In the distance, Master Xehanort and Vanitas appeared. A violent clash ensued, and at the end of it, Terra's body was possessed by Xehanort. Meanwhile, Ventus had been forced into a clash with his counterpart Vanitas, chose the destruction of them both to prevent the X-Blade from being forged. In the aftermath, Mickey was able to rescue Aqua and Ventus, but Ventus would not wake and Terra was nowhere to be found. Aqua's journey was not over. Aqua recalled her master's teachings. After finding a safe place for Ventus to rest, she locked the Land of Departure, which would eventually come to be known as Castle Oblivion. Ventus's heart had been nearly snuffed out, so he retreated to the safety of Sora's heart, the same new heart that had saved him once before. Aqua was found and confronted Xehanort, who had possessed Terra's body. After a long fight, Aqua dove into the darkness and sacrificed herself to usher Terra back into the realm of light. Aqua wandered the realm of darkness for a decade before meeting a stranger there. The stranger told her about a certain boy who had become the savior of all worlds. When Aqua heard the boy's name, tears filled her eyes, and her face beamed with hope. So yeah, that's why that's why Ven looks exactly like Roxas. Ven's heart is inside Sora, so when his nobody was created, it would look exactly like them. Clever, huh? I was fucking amazed. Right, 358 over 2 days. When Roxas first became part of the organization, he spent his days on missions collecting hearts and befriending another member named Axel. However, when Axel was sent to Castle Oblivion on a special mission, Roxas teamed up with organization's new 14th member, a girl named Zeon. Or Zeon, yeah, Zeon. Yeah. Exion! No, it's Zeon. Slowly, the two warmed to each other. Once Axel returned from his mission, he, Roxas, and Zeon, I'm sure it's not that, but okay, they developed a routine of ending each busy day by having ice cream atop the Twilight Town clock tower. There, they talked about work, friendship, their memories, and the meaning of a heart. One day, Zeon was ordered to dispatch an imposter, Riku, who had donned the organization's robes to protect Sora. But Zeon was overpowered and told her Keyblade was a sham. After failing a second mission, she slipped into a coma. When Zeon finally awoke, Roxas's daily routine resumed a kind of normalcy, but something in his friend had changed. Slowly, Zeon began to question her own existence. On day 255, very specific now, Zeon visited Castle Oblivion and discovered what she was. Roxas waited for Zeon at the clock tower, but she never came. The next day, he learned she had deserted the organization. Roxas tracked her down and tried to convince her to return, but Zeon drew her Keyblade threateningly. It was only once Axel appeared that he and Roxas were able to bring her back by force. After learning some of the truth about Zeon, Roxas found his own existence thrown into question. He lost faith in Axel and the organization, who had kept so much hidden from him, and decided to run away. Meanwhile, Zeon had tracked down a girl named Namine, and decided to return her share of Sora's memories to their owner. Axel hunted her down and made a double-edged promise. Keep running. I'll always be there to bring you back. After barely managing to keep that promise, Axel collapsed, and Xemnas, the organization's leader, took Zeon away. Aimlessly, Roxas found himself wandering toward the clock tower. There Zeon revealed herself to not be a her at all, but a faceless puppet that the organization had created as a cage for Sora's memories. The last of those memories were inside Roxas. Sora's nobody, and she would have to take them from him to become a complete Sora's replica. The two fought and Zeon got her wish. She was defeated, as the memories that made her up returned to Sora. She ceased to exist, and vanished from the minds of all who knew her. Confused and angry, Roxas decided to challenge Xemnas and the organization, free the hearts they had collected, and destroy Kingdom Hearts. But Roxas was not strong enough to win, and if he fell here, Sora would never awaken, so Riku confronted him. In his mind, Riku heard the last wish of a girl whose name he could no longer remember. To stop Roxas, he nearly failed, and had to allow the darkness in his heart to take over, before he was able to subdue Roxas. A boy named Roxas woke in his room in Twilight Town after having another strange dream. Excited, he ran off to meet his friends at their usual spot. Only 7 days of summer vacation left. Yeah. Cool, huh? I've talked enough, I think, so I'm going to end it there. Yeah.